In the past few months, Delta has taken us on a roller coaster of emotions. What started as some pretty heavy overhauls to their SkyMiles program, to rollbacks of the initial release, and now a pretty large refresh of the Delta SkyMiles credit cards. But as the dust settles, I'm actually okay with how all of these changes are playing out. Yes, the requirements for status are harder to hit. Yes, the lounge access is getting limited for the credit cards. And yes, the annual fees on the credit cards are going up. But I think that's okay. We now have the ability to earn Delta Silver and even Gold status without flying because of a new perk that these credit cards have. Let's start from the beginning and take a look at all of the changes that have taken place. Back in September, Delta announced that they would be overhauling their SkyMiles status program. Their new system, which went into effect on January 1st, 2024, simplifies the metrics that are used to calculate Delta status. The old system relied on 3 metrics: MQMs, MQDs, and MQSs. It was a bit confusing at first glance, but moving forward, Delta's new status metric will only look at MQDs, medallion qualifying dollars. Earning status is arguably a lot more straightforward. Every dollar spent on a Delta flight earns 1 MQD. Earn enough MQDs and you get status. But that's the end of the good news. With this new system, Delta raised the thresholds for hitting medallion status. These thresholds saw many people lose their current status tier or be unable to qualify for a status tier at all. They also announced that access to the Delta Sky Club was going to be limited for the SkyMiles Reserve card holders and the American Express Platinum card holders, down to a set number of visits in 2025. These cards currently offer unlimited access. This obviously was a huge shock to many people and saw lots of Delta customers jump ship. Other airlines were even capitalizing on this, offering status matches to their programs. In the midst of this backlash, a few weeks later, Delta announced some rollbacks to their current plan, which in my opinion was a good move on Delta's part. They lowered the status threshold, raised the lounge access visits for the credit cards, and announced an MQD Headstart that would give each person 2,500 MQDs for each eligible SkyMiles credit card that they had. I was actually very pleased with these changes, mainly because I currently hold 2 Delta SkyMiles credit cards, which means I would automatically get silver status each year just by holding these cards. And now, February is here and we have some big changes to the SkyMiles credit cards. Recently, American Express said they would be refreshing many of their credit card products. And well, it's begun. These changes are pretty dramatic, but contrary to some current opinions that I've heard, I actually really like where these cards are going. So in today's video, we'll be going over the SkyMiles credit cards that received an update. I won't be covering the SkyMiles Blue card in this video as it did not receive an update and doesn't really offer any value. We will be focusing on the SkyMiles Gold, SkyMiles Platinum card, the SkyMiles Reserve card, as well as the business versions of those cards. We'll take a look at their annual fees, the current elevated welcome offers, the points multipliers, the credits, and the perks and benefits these cards have. First up, we have the SkyMiles Gold card. This card has an intro annual fee of $0 in the first year, then $150 after that. Before the refresh, this annual fee was only $99. Personally, I don't know if this new annual fee is worth it, considering what the card offers. But let's take a look and let me know how you feel about the annual fee. The current welcome offer on this card is for 70,000 SkyMiles. This is an elevated offer and normally is around 40,000 SkyMiles. If you're going with the business version of this card, the current elevated welcome offer is 80,000 SkyMiles. In terms of multipliers, you're going to earn 2x back on Delta purchases, restaurants, and groceries, then 1x back on everything else. And on the business version, you'll also earn 2x back on US shipping and advertising. Speaking of SkyMiles and all the other credit cards in this list, earn Delta SkyMiles that will directly deposit into your Delta account. On average, these points are worth 1 cent per point or better, and they can be redeemed for flights or even hotels booked through Delta. The Gold card offers 2 credits, one of them brand new and the other revamped or enhanced. The new credit is a $100 Delta Stays credit. This credit can be used for hotels booked through the Delta travel portal. On the business card, this is a $150 Delta Stays credit. You will also earn a $200 statement credit after spending $10,000 on the card in a calendar year. Now moving on to the perks and benefits this card offers, we'll see this card is pretty basic, but it does offer main cabin 1 boarding, first check bag free, 20% back on in-flight refreshments, and a benefit called Takeoff 15. This benefit gives you a 15% discount when redeeming your SkyMiles for flights. Takeoff 15 can actually be pretty helpful, depending on the flight you're looking to redeem. Next up, we have the Delta SkyMiles Platinum Card. The Platinum Card has a new annual fee of $350, which is up from $250 originally. The current welcome offer on this card is 90,000 SkyMiles after spending $4,000 in the first 6 months of card ownership. The business variant of this card has a welcome offer of 100,000 SkyMiles. Taking a look at the points earning categories on these cards, you're going to be earning 3x back on Delta purchases, as well as hotels, 2x back on restaurants and grocery stores, then 1x back on everything else. With the business version of this card, you'll only get 3x back on Delta flights as well as Delta stay purchases, 1.5x back on US transit and single purchases over $5,000, then 1x back on everything else. With the SkyMiles Platinum Card, you're going to receive 3 new credits. The first one is a $150 Delta Stays credit for hotels purchased through the Delta portal, $200 on the business card. The next credit on this card is a $120 rideshare credit for purchases made through rideshare apps. You will also receive a $120 Resi dining credit. Both the rideshare credit and the Resi credit are both $10 each month. Now let's move on to the benefits and perks this card offers. The first benefit you're going to receive is Hertz 5-star status. 5-star status lets you skip the counter, gives you upgrades when available, as well as a free additional driver. Another new benefit this card offers is access to the complimentary upgrades list. This perk will put you onto the upgrade list after medallion members and reserve card members, even if you don't have status yourself. Now in fairness, your chances of getting an upgrade are pretty low, but never say never. You're also going to receive a TSA pre-check or global entry credit, no foreign transaction fee, and a few insurances and protections. Now the final benefit that the Platinum Card offers that I think makes this card so good, as well as worth paying that annual fee, is the Companion Certificate. The Companion Certificate is essentially a buy one get one free ticket for any main cabin, economy, Delta round trip flight. Now previously, this credit was only available for the US lower 48 states, but that is no longer the case. The certificate can now be used for the US lower 48 states, Hawaii, Alaska, Mexico, Caribbean, and Central America. This opens up a lot more opportunity for travel, as well as gives additional value to this credit. The final benefit that this card offers is the MQD Headstart as well as the MQD Boost. With the MQD Headstart, you're going to receive an automatic 2,500 MQDs just for holding the card. That pushes you halfway to silver status. And the MQD Boost is another way you can earn MQDs through card spending. For every $20 spent on your SkyMiles Platinum card, you'll receive 1 MQD. Although it's not a great ratio, at least you are working your way towards status just by spending on your card. And finally, let's take a look at the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Card. This card has a new annual fee of $650, which is up from $550 previously. The current welcome offer on this card is for 100,000 SkyMiles after spending $6,000 in the first 6 months of card ownership. And on the business version of this card, you could earn 110,000 SkyMiles. The Reserve Card is the flagship card for Delta, offering a lot of perks and benefits. Let's start off with the points multipliers. With this card, your only elevated points earning category is 3x back on Delta flights, 1x back on everything else. On the business version of this card, you'll earn 1.5x back on everything after you've spent $150,000 in a calendar year on the card, along with 1.5x back on shipping and advertising purchases. I am surprised that the personal card does not offer more categories, given that it's their top tier card. In terms of credits, the Reserve Card offers a $120 rideshare credit, as well as a $240 Resi dining credit. On the personal card, the Delta Stays credit is $200, and on the Reserve Business Card, you'll receive a $250 Delta Stays credit. Now, taking a look at the perks and benefits on this card, there are quite a few of them, as you might expect for a $650 card. But are they worth the price? Well, let's take a look. First up, we're going to receive Hertz President's Circle, which is the top tier status with Hertz. With this status, you'll receive the widest selection of cars, guaranteed upgrades, additional points, and a dedicated phone service line. The Reserve card also offers main cabin 1 boarding, first checked bag free, a TSA pre-check or global entry credit, and access to the complimentary upgrades list. One major perk of the Reserve card is the lounge access. With this card, you're going to receive unlimited Delta Sky Club access until February 2025, at which point you'll be limited to only 15 visits a year. And do note, a visit is any lounge entrance in a 24-hour period. You will also receive 4 guest passes to the Sky Club. The Reserve card also gives you unlimited access to the American Express Centurion Lounge, which is a great lounge network to have access to. Now, like the Platinum card, the Reserve card offers the same expanded companion certificate for flights to the US, Hawaii, Alaska, Mexico, Caribbean, and Central America. However, this certificate can be used for first class, Comfort Plus, or main cabin. This is a great addition for this card if you're looking to fly in style with your companion. The Reserve card also offers the same MQD Headstart and MQD Boost. The MQD Headstart is the same as the Platinum card, 2,500 MQDs. But the Boost is slightly better. For every $10 you spend on this card, you'll receive 1 MQD. This is still not a great ratio. I would love to see this up to maybe 3-to-1 or 2-to-1. Now let's talk about strategies for getting status with Delta cards. In the Delta Medallion Status Program, there are 4 tiers of status: Silver, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond. Each tier requires you to hit a certain amount of MQDs. For Silver status, that amount is 5,000. For Gold status, it's 10,000. Platinum status requires 15,000. And Diamond status requires 28,000 MQDs. As I mentioned earlier, you'll earn 1 MQD for every dollar spent on a Delta flight. And depending on which Delta tier you're going for, that can get pretty expensive. But that's where the MQD Headstart comes in. If you have both the Platinum card and the Reserve card, you would automatically get Silver status for only $1,000 a year. And if you had both variants of the cards, the personal and business versions, you would earn Gold status for $2,000 a year, without even flying. If you had those 4 cards, and depending on how much you fly with Delta, you could get Platinum status for just 5,000 more MQDs. So what do you guys think of these changes? Are the new annual fees worth it? And how do you think Delta is handling these program and credit card changes? Let me know down below. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to see more content like this in the future. I'll see you next time.